Alright guys, today we're doing the Metal Gear Solid boss tier list. And without further ado, we're starting with Revolver Ocelot. His boss fight's pretty cool, I would say. I don't think there's anything that stands out. Oh, that's too far. You walk around in a square room, you can't run in the middle. Doesn't have any shenanigans. The ending's pretty cool.
That exoskeleton. You were lucky. We'll meet again.
Oh, I didn't remember he runs off with his own arm. But I say B. I think A tier more fitting for it. I think it makes more sense. Yeah, I'll stick with A tier. Next, we have the A. Oop. This one doesn't have too much shenanigans. Funny enough, it took me a while to figure out how to go about it. I didn't realize you had to throw in the grenade into the thing itself. It's nothing too fancy. The only exciting part is that it has Raven in it somehow. I think he's a fun character. I do like Raven. But the boss itself, I think, is a solid C tier. I don't think it's quite F. Definitely not B. I think C is fair. Next is Grey Fox. Let me fix this.
To enjoy the moment.
Well, the best part about this boss fight is the start of it, where you enter the hallway. It has a cinematic cutscene to where it's just brutal.
It looks like they were cut by some type of blade.
With like the creepy music and sounds in the background. I think they prepped this fight up perfectly.
What's with?
And I like how you have to use not CQC, but your fist and your 1-2 buckle your shoe action to get him. I like him though. I do like his aesthetic what he brings to the game, and also with the others Metal Gear Solids on the NES, it also adds to that as well. But on the tier list, I'll stick him in A. A is a good one. I have no complaints. What? Mantis. Psycho Mantis is probably one of my favorite bosses of all time.
What the?
The creativity, and even for someone to think of having him control your screen and your controller, just genius. I don't think it shows it in here if he turns off the screen or anything. Doesn't look like it. But also, they included him in Metal Gear Solid 5 as the kid with the man on fire. So, who can hate on the guy for real? But I think he's great. Definitely a big fan of Mantis. Mantis Glazer. The next one is the helicopter fight with Liquid. I think this game, the weakest boss fights, well, really in the series, is the like helicopter or mech fight.
The
Because
first,
even the tank one wasn't
if
too
you love
exciting.
someone,
Was that right? Wait, let's
you
skip
have
it.
to be able.
And you stand around, you wait for your opening to shoot. That's what a lot of them are. Nothing much to say about it, to be honest. It definitely could have added more pizzazz. I think I think they could have added some pizzazz to all the what? So, I don't know. With that being said, I think D tier is just fine. It doesn't do anything crazy. It's just a standard one. It's the first in the series. I think I'll rock with C tier for now and see how I feel later. Next is Sniper Wolf. You do fight her twice. And it's just you more or less trying to beat her to the punch. Look, you look left, you look right, you lose track of her, and then you go back and forth until you find her. It is our first sniper in the series. I think the ending saves her a lot from it going like a C tier or below.
Meryl's
Cinematic as shit, and also her coming back in the fourth game is really nice.
Give it to me.
goodbye.
I think a B tier is. Oh, we got Raven next. I like Raven. I like Raven. I think the way they brought him up was super cool. The boss fight, lackluster, is super challenging. One of the harder ones in the series. I think this is the one that took me the longest in the first game, or maybe even in general. Not thinking about it. But I think it's super fun. It challenges you to go at them in different directions. The crows eat them.
You are a snake which was not
Or the ravens eat
created
'em.
by nature. That is the end of my hint. You must.
I do like them. I'm a sucker for them. But the boss fight, I think, brings it down just a little bit. I think they could have been a little bit more involved, a little more creative. But I did enjoy his character. Next one is Rex. Probably the best Metal Gear fight in the series. It holds up really well. Again, the biggest thing is that this series also struggles with mechs and controlled like machines, like the helicopters, tanks. But I think this is the first game that they nailed it. And they knocked it out of the park. So I think it's pretty fair to say that I think Rex should be an S tier. I think it's just a super fun boss fight. Liquid. So the build-up was great. I think the hand-to-hand combat was fun. We've already did it with Ray Fox. It just wasn't something that stuck out. And something that even taints it even more is the gun. What? The gunner section. I don't think it adds much to the fight at all. If anything, it hurts it. I think Liquid's boss fight, I'll put it in B tier, maybe for now. Now we're gonna jump to Metal Gear Solid 2 with Olga. Olga just shows you how to use the stamina meter. You can't CQC or fight her, throw hands. I think it's heart mechanic fun. I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Wasn't a bad one for the first one in the game. I think Olga's fine with being a B tier. I think it was fine. Now we have, who is that? Fortune? Future? Her boss fight, quote unquote, because she shows up and you physically can't shoot her. This is all you do. Is just stand and avoid her shot. That's it. They had so much potential with her being Raven's daughter. And I thought I was gonna add more even to the fourth game, but they kind of dropped the ball. I think C tier, maybe F. I think F tier actually. The only thing that kind of redeems it is her character, but this isn't a boss fight. You're just standing and waiting for something to happen. Next is Batman. Batman
with every moment of their existence, and nothing else announces its own name
is
with such a fanfare. Glad you could make it.
Very eccentric. Love the nails. Doesn't do it for me.
Emperor among detonation devotees.
You're nothing but a common criminal, and that's the only way people will ever remember you.
How dare you? I'm an artist.
He is an artist on the rollerblades. He is dorky as hell.
What do you think? Switch for the biggest bomb of the entire play. That's your problem. This is the highlight of the party. Bring it on, I say.
I don't know. He doesn't do it for me. He isn't super fun to fight. You run around, take care of his bombs, you make him go to bed. That's really it. It doesn't add anything to me or anything unique, especially in the sequel. The Jet boss fight. Alright, let's get to the boss fight. The whole purpose of this one was supposed to be the simulation that Ocelot was kind of getting himself into. But this one's kind of lame. I don't know. They made the helicopter boss fight, but worse. I'll put it, I think it goes in F tier as well. Just not a super solid fight. They didn't really add anything to it. It's just a copy of the helicopter fight. And then you have Pliskin helping you in his airplane. But next we have Vamp. Okay, get to the point. So Vamp Ham's just in a square room with the hole in the ground. And you wait for him to come down, throw his knife, or run up at you, and then he does this. And I'm not a big like Vamp fan. On top of it, I definitely think he's the better one than any of these, and he's kind of on par with like Olga's. At least in my opinion, I think his character is so eccentric, is so goofy that if it saves him from being any lower. Metal Gear Ray now. So this one is where you fight 13, 14 of these things. And they kind of made it where they looked at Metal Gear Rex and was like, how can we make this more tedious, more annoying, and less fun? And they accomplished that in every way. It has a lot of the same attack. The laser, the jet, the rockets from the knees, the machine gun. It's very copy and paste, but it's done like shittier. Definitely not A. I don't think it belongs in F because there is substance there. If they had one and they got right into the final boss fight, I think it would have been so much better. But you fought 14 of them, and it wasn't fun after the first one. The design is really cool. I'll give it that as well. Solidus Snake. The perfect clone. Now, I like Solidus. I think he was a fun character. I wish they kept him in more games and didn't just use him as a corpse in 4.
Yes, you are.
Holy moly, that's so long. And I like how they changed up the whole like combat system for this one boss fight.
Let's go.
I wish they did. The only thing I wish they did more with him. I definitely think an A tier's fair. You know, especially he is best by far compared to the other bosses in Metal Gear Solid 2. Now we have Ocelot, one of my, if not my favorite characters in Metal Gear Solid. There it is. There it is. I can watch this all day. I think there was a guy on Reddit that devoted his whole life to recreating this. But seeing the mocap of this is also crazy. I don't know if the guy on Reddit ever accomplished his mission though. Legend say he's still working on it today.
This time
Where does he me out?
But you're mine now.
The presentation, the boss fight itself, his aesthetic, how quirky he is, I think fits the tone of the games. Super fun. Super cool boss. There it is. The pain. Everyone seems to like really hate this one. I didn't mind it. I didn't think the platforms and you having to go in the water in between was super tedious or made it super difficult or tricky. And at least from when I did my playthrough, I was in there like maybe 3 times, or I had to go and it was like in and out. Doesn't stand out too much besides the bees. And then he explodes. Sorry. Nope. That's it. But I think he's on par with like Vamp, Liquid, Raven, like goofiness, silliness. But the boss fight was fine. I had 0 complaints. Now, who is it? The Fear? Here.
Coated in the venom of the Brazilian wandering spider. Soon,
I do like his freak. His freak is, you know, is what made this so interesting. But they had him jump around. I think they could have just like maybe had a couple trees in a whole forest, because it was just the easiest to just have your goggles on, your thermal goggles, and just shoot him as he's flying around. Does he explode too? He does explode. I didn't remember that. But he goes into like, it's fine. I think he's freaky. Before his freak really got too wild, he died. That tongue though is crazy. Now I think this is going to be the most controversial one. The end boss fight. The end makes you use everything you learned up to that point, like your stealth, your like how to track, make sure your stamina's good, especially across 3 maps because you have to locate them.
Eva, I found that sniper you were talking about.
That's the end.
But for me, and at least like when I played it, I didn't really rock with it. I didn't like it. I thought it was boring. I think that I can see why this is considered one of the best bosses in the series. Maybe I'm not that elite in my thought, but I think he's just okay. And I think this can be the most controversial opinion that I have. I think he's fine. Super annoying. I can see why they added the exploit to where they made it where you could skip him altogether. And that's what I'm going to say about that, because that is probably my most controversial take. No. Yuri is next. He just kind of comes out of nowhere. He doesn't do anything crazy. He flies around. He splatters a couple of pockets of fire and then runs out. not super crazy. Especially going after the end to this one. Yeah, just super random. I don't remember it being a thing at all. Like him being a part of the squad. That's fine. I think C. I just like my gut opinion. Let's just chuck him in C. Not too wild. Now we have the Sorrow. People have a lot of conflicting opinions about the Sorrow. It's either really good or it's super boring and you just walk for, you know, and then which is super creative that they even thought about doing this. The Revival Tooth. Super cool. I think it was super cool that they added it, added this boss to this game. But it falls in the same thing where is it really a boss? I think it's just really a cinematic scene, but I think the edge that it gives over Fortune is that it is cooler. So I'll at least put it in. I would love to put it in B tier, but I think it's generous to give it a C tier as far as bosses. I fuck with him though. I didn't throw hands with him. I just exploited my machine gun and just unloaded. I was able to take care of him that way. I think he's such a fun boss fight though. I really like Vulcan. I think he was a good antagonist. You had every reason to hate his gut. And he was one of the bosses who you just wanted to really beat down. So I think an A tier is more than fitting. Now we have the Shacklehold. So the chase sequence is super fun, and I think if they ended it with that, it would have been really, really good. But they decided to extend it to a two-phase boss fight. And I think that kind of killed it. If they started off with Vulcan on top, shooting us down, like unloading on us, I think that would have been a fun boss fight. But then it comes off the backbone of the standard one. So I don't know. Just not as enjoyable as the Vulcan one by itself. The Shacklehoff, this second, having the whole two-phase thing just kind of blew. I'll slam in B tier for now and see how I feel as this list goes on. Because I think I'm going to slide Liquid up to A solely because of how impactful he is to the rest of the narrative, not the boss fight itself. No, the boss fight. Talk about a beautiful aesthetic. It's so reminiscent of modern From Software games, where they love doing the field of flowers, very, very pretty aesthetic. But this predates it by years and years. And this one is just so nice because it's just CQC. I didn't even realize you got a uniform from it. You got Snake. Pretty cool. And the soundtrack is just a banger too. Frame rate's really crazy.
You okay? Heads up.
And the shot of all the flowers going from white to red. Just beautiful. Oh my god. Just like, is there any like anywhere else you could put the boss without it being disrespectful? Well, you putting her below S tier is just criminal. Now to Metal Gear Solid 4. Now, to put this in retrospect, I played this after playing 5, just to get a real ending to the series. So having them actually have boss fights was super enjoyable to me, and having this one be the first one was just I thought it was really fun. The premise of her disappearing and transforming herself either to the scenery or to the guard at one point, and even the mannequin was such a cool touch. Like she would be like that mannequin over there. The one move she did, like where she would tumble and roll around, would just drain your health. And the trend that all of them follow is that they have this second phase to where they're out of their like suit and they're just like slowly following you. I don't know what the aesthetic choice of that really was, but I like the octopus. It's a super strong boss to start off the game, and I think, you know, as I go along rating, this one holds up just super well. I think it was very different for the series. It was very engaging, but also thinking about, I played Peace Walker, then 5, then 4. I was looking for anything for a decent boss fight, a half-baked boss fight. But now we have, what was her? Raging Raven. This one was the, wow, you can beat her quick. Unless I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But she was like the helicopter, the jet, and like how she went about it. Oh yeah, this guy didn't get any of the boss fight besides the end. A similar thing, she hops out of her suit, slowly walks to you, but she just shoots missiles, flies around in circles. Again, I think she falls in the same kind of boat of like the helicopter and the jet. So I think it's fair putting her in C tier. Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't really have any objections. Now we have Primal. I think this had a really cool setup, especially because you were in the not the same spot exactly, but a similar spot to where you fought Sniper Wolf. The first game, I thought it was a cool comparison, especially to like the cutscene that happened later. But the thing that killed it was having the goons around. I think it could have been one of the best sniper fights because she's in a mech that runs around and can charge at you and that isn't going to be really stationary. And she wasn't for the boss fight, but they added the goons. I kind of killed the epicness of the fight. With a really cool setup to just an okay like boss fight. And she has the thing where she hops out, loses it, you take her down. And I think if they gave these girls like up why they're doing everything, would be really cool. They gave them like their tragic backstory, but I think a little bit more would have really rounded them out as characters. But this one didn't do anything really that different, and the goons didn't really make it a whole lot of fun. But the potential was there. The potential really was there. Okay, so now we have Vamp, and Vamp was kind of lame. No, it's cutscene. He shows up, he does his thing, he's with Naomi for some reason. You just knock him down, you stab him with the syringe. That's the end of it. He's super easy. I figured since, you know, like this guy was in 2 games, there'd be more substance to it. But no, not really. It's super short, super easy. I just figured they could have done more with the guy. The Roman C tier. Now we have Rex versus Ray. The introduction of you going into Rex, super cool already. Like you being able to control it. But now you're bringing in Rex to the mix. Your odds of winning drastically go down. It's super cool. I can agree that's a little clunky, but I couldn't care less. It's just really cool move. What? I didn't even realize you could kick and do any of that. Super cool experience. I think it's super fun, and it's, you know, that game, the 4th game should have been the last one. But I think the second Metal Gear Ray fight, super cool, especially with the circumstance that you're in the Metal Gear wrecked suit and mech or whatever. Now we have, is it Crying Mantis? No. Screaming Chicken. It is Screaming Mantis. Screaming Mantis. They brought back
Psycho Mantis.
my boy Mantis for one last show. Oh, I didn't realize you could do that. But I'm a sucker for Psycho Mantis, and having him back in some regard, especially with Screaming Mantis, even like him as a puppet, super creative. I wasn't super clear on how I'm supposed to go about it. The same thing as Crying Wolf. The thing that hurts it is having the goons kind of like roam around and they don't really add anything to it. But I'm a sucker for Mantis. I really like him. I'll put it because the goons, man, like if they didn't have so many and they had interesting attacks like how kind of Octopus did, it'd be super cool. I'll put it next because I'm being greedy. I like the fight. I like the telekinesis. I thought the callback to Mantis was super cool. Wasn't like in your face. It made sense to especially his abilities. Like it'd be weird if Raven or if Sniper Wolf came back and where they were reincarnates of these mechs of their former selves. But the Mantis one makes sense. Now we have Ocelot. It's just two old men throwing haymakers at one another. Like how can you hate on this? I think it's a fitting end. I do think the part where it was revealed that Ocelot was just brainwashed to think he's liquid was kind of lame, but super fun. I really love this boss fight. Didn't do anything different. I think A is fair. I think it's a good place to slap it. I think it just doesn't nick the place of like, you know, Boss, Psycho Mantis, Rex. I think it could have. For some people, just not for me. It doesn't really fall in that camp. Now we have Peace Walker. Okay. Oh, the tank. They didn't include the tank or the helicopter, which I think is more than fine. A tank. We have the first mech, Cuba. I don't remember who's who, but I know there's Chrysalis. There's Peace Walker itself, and there's another one. Just do the same thing over and over again, rinse and repeat. And especially with the airdrops, it's just super annoying that you have to wait there when you're receiving your ammo, and it could even be stuff that you don't need. So, like, if me not knowing that with the first one, I liked it. I think it's a fun B tier. And as soon as we get to not the next one, that's the helicopter. The next one, the Chrysalis, is where I really start to realize that this might be just the same thing over and over again. Because now it just flies. And you guys know how I feel about the jets and the planes and just waiting around for your opening. I think this F tier is more than fair. It's super boring. Then we have the Cocoon, where it's just this giant tank in the middle that you just shoot, you call for more supplies, and you hope you get what you need. Rinse and repeat. Just super long. Like 10-minute boss fight for no reason. Like, there's no need for that. Also, it's funny that's out of order. It's just super boring. And now we get into Peace Walker 1, which objectively is fine. I didn't hate this one as much as the other ones. It was, again, when you see the first one, you really see them all. You knock it down, but then the phase 2 starts, and that one sucks a whole lot. It just sucked a whole lot. Does it add anything fun? You wait around. It does. At one point, this walks around, and you have to wait until it appears at the left or right end. Like right there, it'll just stand there when it's doing that little walk around. And it's just super boring. There's two different ones. Wait a second. I guess I didn't realize they split up the Peace Walkers, but both of them suck equal. They both suck. Now we have Zeke.
Get down from there.
Do not call me that. I am Pacifico Ocean.
It's the best one in the game, but it's not by much. So I just kind of ends up in the same camp, just because it's so exhausting fighting these ones that you don't really care about getting to Zeke. I didn't care for it. Other people may see differently. It just wasn't. The boss fights were definitely the weakest in the game, in the series, in that game. Now we're on Metal Gear Solid 5. And this game, objectively, the main focus wasn't the boss fights. I think it's so apparent in all of them. All of them kind of just are big stinkers. Like Quiet's boss fight, it's just a regular sniper in a big sandbox area of the map. Cool buddy to have on trips. That's all I got for her. Like, didn't really add much to it. She was just there to be there. It just isn't anything exciting. Nothing that we haven't seen before. Now we have the Man on Fire, which is also Vulcan. Which they could have. I think this, if there is a tier list of like wasted potential, him and Skullface were the two biggest ones. Far enough. Hello, this boss fight. You just get him a little wet. And then you escape.
Did that do it? Quick, now's the time to get on the chopper.
Wait, can you beat him? Oh wow, you really can have him just fall in the pool of water. Like, if this was the fight where you had to, get him wet, fight him, throw some haymakers, a little, like, left-right hooks, that would have been cool. That would have been a really a nice addition to the fight. But just him getting wet and you getting out of there just kind of stunk. Especially for a reoccurring character like Vulcan. I think that had so much potential and just sucked. Then the way he goes out, he just gets close to you and dies. And that's it. And going back to my point before about this game just didn't focus on boss fights, they included Eli, which, let's be so for real, this isn't a boss fight. You just chase this kid around. And then you see him. And you do it again on Mother Base. It just isn't really a boss fight. And I know the Sorrow isn't really a boss fight, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. Now, the last boss fight in the Metal Gear Solid series is Schmiegelhofen, the Schengelhof. Also sucked, and I like how they nailed the aesthetic of Metal Gear and Rex. The whole face and everything is the same thing as Rex, but I digress. And for Skullface just to die like that also is so lame. But you have this long boss fight where you just do the same thing you do in Peace Walk, where you just shoot, run away, and then go back to it a couple times in a row until it's down. Like, I wish they had something similar to the first Metal Gear Rex, because they nailed it. They nailed it out of the park with that experience. But this just kind of sucked. And you beat him. And my biggest question that I don't think this has an answer is that does no one see Psycho Mantis just chilling out with them as they're in the plane? And Eli also sucked. I can't stand Eli. Yeah, he's right there.
Let's see Skullface.
So now, would I move anything around? I like the Sorrow. I didn't really mind him at all. The Schmiegelhofen, first one, I didn't fuck with it. Especially with the face suit, didn't fuck with it. I think this is set. I think this one's fair.